All right, Taylor, let's get to the good stuff, at least on offense. Now, we'll hit everything on offense, the good, the bad, the ugly. But Efton Chisum was great today, once again. Looks to be all but a roster lock, in my opinion, right now. My only question to you is, and I was wondering this last week when they finally got him out there with those ones in Drake May, when are we going to see him with this starting unit? Because it hasn't been, and maybe you can dive in a little bit more about what happened in Minnesota or what have you. But yes, he's been great. He's been awesome with Josh Dobbs, who hasn't been good this preseason. The one sort of benefit he's had is that Chisum's basically always been open. He's able to get on the ball, and he's been able to, 6 for 71 today, a touchdown with what Mike Vrabel mentioned last week. The play strength of Efton Chisum shows it off today, goes in for, breaks 3 tackles in the score. Is Efton Chisum a lock, and when and why haven't we seen him with the ones just yet?
I've seen him as a virtual lock for probably the past couple weeks.
Okay.
For me, it was just like, unless he plays himself off the roster, I just think there's too much talent in there. And like I tweeted last month, I expected, and I felt this way for a while, but I thought he was going to dominate the preseason and make himself an impossible guy to cut. I don't even think it's close. Like, everyone keeps saying Chisum and Javon Baker. I'm like, that is not a battle.
I agree.
It's been Chisum for a couple weeks at least. And there was 1 week where there was the Commanders week. I felt like he did miss some opportunities there, and they were pretty tough opportunities, and I want to give him credit for that. But he's just a really good player. He's smart. He's consistent. He works his tail off. He's got some skill as a punt returner as well. He'll run block, so I can see him in that Jacoby Myers kind of role where he's not just in the slot. He can also play Z for you and be at the point of attack on runs. Like, he has the profile of a guy who's going to earn every single touch that he gets. I think he's absolutely a roster lock. Like, it's not even close. And now, so I think that's case closed. Yeah. Like, I don't even see how he has to play himself off the roster at this point.
This is one of those things where, too, you mentioned that he's going to be a post or a preseason darling and he's going to dominate whatever. He's played so well at this point where, like, if you do cut him, you're worrying about him getting scooped up on waivers because he was such a sought after UDFA. The Patriots paid him a lot of money and guarantees. So, like, if you do let him go, it's going to be difficult to get him back on the practice squad. So I think what he's done so far, somebody would probably claim him.
Exactly, because it's one thing like a Javon Baker where you see the talent, but like today, he also misses opportunities. He makes mistakes where you're like, I can't put this guy on the field in a real game. But if he's going to contribute on special teams, that gives him an opportunity to make the roster. Chisum is going to make it as an offensive player who can contribute on special teams if you need him to. And I mentioned in Minnesota because this is his best week of practice. He's been automatic. I think like every time the ball's gone his way, he's caught it unless there was some outstanding play from the defender.
Sure.
So you're talking about, all right, Stephon Diggs, Pop Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, that's your top 3. Mac Hollins has been the 4, but Mac Hollins has not been nearly as consistent as Efton Chisum's been. Now, there is value in Mac Hollins being as big as he is. He's got size that they don't really have on the roster, his blocking ability, his knowledge of this Josh McDaniels offense and all that. But I think it's more than fair for him and Efton Chisum to have a bit of a battle because they do play similar roles. Mac Hollins has a bit more outside flexibility, which will help him there. But I don't see a reason that Mac Hollins should be getting any lion's share of reps over Efton Chisum when Efton Chisum's producing. And albeit a lot of his production has come against backups, but okay, bump him up and let's get him more opportunities and see what he can do. And it's not like he hasn't repped with the ones. We saw him and Javon Baker start rotating, and that's pretty much been the case all summer. It's not like Efton Chisum is so buried that he's not getting any reps with Drake May. The biggest thing is Drake doesn't really throw his way, which you understand because he doesn't really work with him nearly as much as he does with Pop, with Kayshon. And I think we see that Drake, though he likes to spread the ball out, I've noticed this preseason with the younger guys, he isn't quite as comfortable targeting them. Kyle Williams, he's definitely tried to get him involved, but I remember in the scrimmage, it felt like he was kind of looking more to the older guys when the bullets were flying and it was really serious game situation. But I'd love to see Drake finally start getting enough reps with Efton Chisum that he can feel like Joshua Dobbs does, like Ben Woodridge does, where when this guy's in the game and it's a big situation, I'm locking in on him unless the coverage takes him away. So I think right now Efton Chisum is the pretty clear wide receiver 5, and he should be competing for that 4th spot as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. There it is. Thank you. Efton Chisum wants it more than you. Yeah, he went for it. 53-man roster right there. It was a great play. He catches the ball in space, makes a guy miss, breaks 3 tackles, doesn't give up, and scores. And I mentioned it earlier, but Vrabel talked about his play strength for somebody who is, a shorter, shifty, quick, not fast wide receiver. That's exactly what you need from a guy like that. So very good stuff from him. He has another week in a row where he continues to look like a roster lock, someone who I think, again, I mentioned it, but would get claimed if the Patriots cut him. I don't think they can let him loose. So some really good stuff from Efton Chisum. Now,
also a very interesting guy, I'll add. We got to do our one-on-one exclusive with him. We found out, like, he's an artist. I asked what his favorite off-day activity was, and the dude, like, he knows graffiti. He's got all this, like, collection of artwork that he's been doing for, I think, since high school, he mentioned. So not only is he a good player, like, I'm so excited for that interview to drop because I had my football questions, and then I had some quick hitters at the end where I just wanted to get to know more about him as a person. Fascinating dude and incredibly nice. Like, nothing against players, but not everyone acknowledges Amit, who's our producer, like, when he's recording, because he's behind the camera. He's doing a lot of things. You know, I understand. These guys are nervous sometimes. Efton Chisum, like, shook. He called he knew who Amit was, shook his hand, was nice to Brian, was really kind to me, like a really easy guy to root for. So it's awesome seeing him have this success.
So Taylor mentioned it right there. We have an Efton Chisum interview coming up on the on YouTube here. Here's a quick preview of Taylor's sit-down with Chisum. Take a look. Whoop. Sorry, Amit. Do it again.
What is the best piece of advice that you've gotten? Football, life, anything.
I think it's I kind of keep doing it today. It's just one day at a time, one play at a time. Don't get too caught up in the moment. Like, obviously, I'm so blessed I'm here and I'm so thankful, and I kind of say that to myself each and every day and every play. But you know, if I make a good play, it's like, all right, next play. You know, if I make a bad play, if I do something wrong, but it's like, whatever, next play. So that's kind of my mentality. I've always kind of been taught that, and it's something that when I got here, I started to really realize, like, you got to do that here way more in college. In college, you can get away with being upset and having a bad practice, where here it's like, man, I got to make the most of every single day and every opportunity I get.
So that is actually up now on the channel, but don't leave us just yet. We still have plenty to break down. Once you finish up here, go to Patriots Press Pass, watch that interview, and you can watch Taylor's chat with Efton Chisum. Good stuff.